Hi, everybody. How are you today? I got my girls with me today. Say what up, Diva.
What's up?
Opinion, say hello.
Hello.
All right, you guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, I've been gathering information on the phone with these two all day long.
hmm
It's a hot mess, and nobody's hands are clean. Nobody. And but before I get into all of that, you guys know I'm now in partnership. A new sponsor, Ilya Wines. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys know I need my wine. I really, really do. You guys kept saying how pretty the bottle is. This is a black owned company.
Mm.
And I always love that. I'm a black female and I support other black females. And I'm just glad that they chose me to be their sponsor. So if you go, there's a code up in the left hand corner up at the top here. You could do it that way, or you can go to the link that I'm leaving in the description. And if you use the promo code World 10, you get a 10% discount. So you guys, let's support black businesses, okay? We got to support each other's businesses. And I'm very proud that, this is a black owned company. All right. Lots to talk about today. Before I get into all of the drama, because it's absolutely drama, I'm going to talk briefly about Jamie Foxx, the update. And then I'm going to talk about what we learned from my investigation about the Mel and Martell and Arionne situation. Okay. She is not gone, people. She is not gone. But before I do that, I wanted to make this perfectly clear. I do not pay for interviews. Okay. And I don't have anything against people that do it. For me, it never works out. I don't pay for court documents, something that I can get free online. I don't shade anybody who does that. That's what you do. But for me, if I pay for interviews or for tea, a person has a tendency to elaborate. I've done it twice. And so I'm not even ashamed to. I've done it twice and it's gone down south from there. But it's nothing wrong if that's what you do. It did not work out for me. Okay. So I get my stuff the old fashioned way, developing relationships, talking to people, calling people, and just putting the time into it because it's a lot. Hi, Ayana. Happy Monday to the Grown Women Convo crew. We are grown women. And that's another thing. You guys really liked our conversation or the way that we approach things because we're not team anybody. We're team truth. Now, disclaimer, have I interviewed Melody before? Yes, I have. Do I like her? Yes, I do. But the truth is the truth, and that's what we're going to get to because relationships are very, very complicated. But before hold on, I got another chat. This is going to be messy, Diva, in my opinion. Let it go. Let's go. Thank you, Dawn. It's not even messy. It's kind of sad. But I wanted to talk about Jamie Foxx really, really quickly because I've been following this story from day one when I told you that he had an alleged stroke and people really didn't believe me and that they were covering it up. They didn't want to say anything just in case it was drug related. He has a history of drugs. I don't care. Everybody in Hollywood practically has a history of something. Just because of their work schedules and then their playtime is something you wouldn't see in a movie. They go on yachts and it's just a lot and they have access to everything. But it's being reported that his condition has taken a turn for the worse. I really, really like Jamie Foxx. And Diva, you're a nurse. Strokes are, I don't even know what to say, are hard to overcome. Sometimes they leave. Now, look at that. My cable went out.
We can still hear you, though.
Can you guys still see me?
Yes, we can still see you and we can still hear you.
Okay. Strokes are hard to get over, but they're saying it's taking a turn for the worse. Now, Diva, you're a nurse.
Mhm.
Have you seen this happen before? Ugh.
Oh, 100 times. So here's the thing that already concerned me, right?
Mhm.
One, when she said medical emergency and they acted fast. Two, he's been in the hospital this long. And when you are partly well enough, the hospital wants to get you out of the hospital because they don't want a secondary infection to take you down, right?
Mhm.
So as soon as you are well enough, they will release you and you'll go to rehab or you'll recover somewhere else or something like that. The fact that he's been in the hospital this long, in my mind, I already knew like something just is amiss and doesn't sound right. The second, all of a ton of his Hollywood friends were coming out and saying, we're sending prayers and wishing you well. It's not that they were saying it, it was the way they were saying it.
It's the way that they said it.
It's the
Mhm.
way that they said it for me that had me thinking like, "Oh, this is not good."
It's not good
They
at all.
and so we don't know. They got to him fast, but again, we don't know how long he was down because
Mhm.
allegedly they had to revive him at the scene. They said revive.
They said revive.
So, that's not a good thing either. And we don't know, what all went on, like how many seconds he was, before how long it took them to revive him. I'll say that, right? We don't know if it was 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. You don't know. And all of that matters. So it's really sad. Prayers go out to him. I think you did freeze now, Sherelle. At least it looks like she did for me. I don't know. In my opinion, do you think Sherelle froze?
Yeah, I think she froze for a minute.
Yeah, she froze, yeah. So, it's just extremely sad. And I like everybody's kind of saying in the comments, praying for the best for Jamie Foxx and truly, truly wish him well. Now, everybody is different because your bodies are different, right? Some people, I have a girlfriend that recently had a stroke. She's doing well now. She's doing
Yeah.
well, and it was bad. And then, I know somebody else, they had a stroke and they haven't been the same since. So, it all depends. It's very sad.
Well, anyway, his friend Charlie Mack, is supposed to be his best friend, came out on his social media today and asked everyone to pray for Jamie. So I went froze for a second. Can you see me now?
Yes,
You
we
guys?
can.
Okay.
Yeah, you fine.
So, hi King World. That's Perry's buddy. Okay, now let's get into this craziness. It's a lot going on. We're going to talk about the rumors that I found out, what's been happening behind the scenes, and then we'll go into court documents. I have been contacted a very reliable source. Okay, this is a mess. Diva alluded to this yesterday. A lot of times, two people are still in love with each other, and they're just hurt over what's going on. According to the rumors, there has been physical contact between the couples, between Mel allegedly, and not punch out like that, but like rough fighting, throwing things, stuff like this, grabbing someone too hard, tossing you like that. Because believe me, that's a muscle man. If he wanted to take you down,
Mm-hmm.
who could take you down in one punch. But the rumor says he kind of, I'm going to use the word rough up because I don't know another word, because
Right.
arguments get heated. Allegedly, he has had fights with Mel. Allegedly, he has had fights and roughed up Arionne. He's roughed up Mel. And according to the rumors, these women cover up for him. Now, a couple weeks ago, I had someone on the show, an attorney, and then Leah came on the show, and they were talking about how he has a whole arrest that's cover up. According to the rumors, Carlos King covers up a lot of this stuff too, because he wants drama, but he doesn't want to ruin anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, there's rumors going around that Mel has gone back a couple of times at night, she's leading him on. These are the rumors, because it didn't make sense how we would see on the show he's asking her to pray, but she don't talk to you. Why? So I very much believe the rumors that she's leading him on. I'll put it this way: conversations are different when it's them one-on-one. And I really think that because the world is in their business, I wouldn't tell you if I went back, if I talked to him again, if I hooked up again. I wouldn't. I'll let you know what I want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it's messy all over. Okay. roughing up. It seems like all three women are still in his life at some way, and that all women are protecting him, including the producer of the show. Now, I get it. Relationships are complicated. Like you said, Diva, everybody's frozen. Can you still hear me?
We can still hear you.
No, no, I can hear you.
Okay. Relationships are complicated. And I could see if I argue with you and I let the world in on that and you've embarrassed me publicly and I'm talking to you one day and I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at what you did to me. It's a mess. It's a mess. You still seeing other women, so I ain't gonna dare embarrass myself and take you back again.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the kind of situation that's being explained to me. Let me read the super chat. It has nothing to do with like for me. He's like family. He's just like a part of all of our homes. It's just like losing someone really close to us. They're talking about Jamie. From In Living Color to Katie Holmes.
Mm.
Anyway, back to this love triangle. It's a love triangle.
You have another one, Sherelle. Okay.
I don't believe Mel is doing that. Okay.
Mm.
I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. And everybody's allowed to believe what they want. And I'm just telling you what I heard. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. But it's a hot, stinking mess is what I'm hearing. So, okay. So one time, situations get out of control. And according to the court documents, Mel is saying that, what's his name? Martell kicked their son in the private area.
Mm.
And that the son vouched and said that he did. I'm going to read the paperwork and I'm going to tell you in advance, there was no evidence to prove that, so the court threw it out. But here's the thing. You might not know. You think that your children aren't affected by this, or that you're doing a good job handling it well. Just a divorce period is very taxing on children. You feel in the middle, even if you're not. You know you're not. That's just how I felt. You feel like you're in the middle. You don't want to be team mom. You don't want to be team dad. You got grandma in your ear. So I'm going to say it this way. These were her accusations, but nothing could be proved. Now, let me start reading these court documents, just how out of hand this stuff is getting. And Diva, every time I start reading this paperwork, I think about you. I was going to put it on the camera, but I have to redact some things. And then I'm going to put it on my Instagram, maybe for other bloggers after you do what you need to do with it, Diva. And then because everybody is invested. If you watch this show, you're invested. All right, here's go. So Mel files a emergency motion to suspend custody when she believes that he's been too rough with the boy and spanked him really hard because he's a boy and whatever. But kicking somebody in the groin is a whole nother thing. And I would file paperwork on you too. Okay. So it's called Motion to Suspend Custody. Comes now the plaintiff, Melody Holt, by and through counsel, and files this motion to suspend the defendant's visitations with the minor children, stating as follows in support. Earlier today, the guardian and the ad litem of the minor children in this matter filed a motion for an emergency status hearing, alleging that the defendant, that's Martell, had, I forgot this part. So she files an emergency thing about him kicking the child in the groin. Also, she finds out that he recorded the children, like a recording, asking them to vouch why the marriage fell apart. And not only did he do this, then he goes on social media and he plays the tape for social media. So I'm saying, I don't think you guys are intentionally messing up your children. But I feel that feelings are just so overwhelmed. Children are affected by divorce. And I am 50 something years old. And I still remember my parents' divorce. It was one of the first 10 times in my life. It's really bad. Okay, so defendant has recorded conversations with his children involving matters of custody and divorce being litigated by the parties and had published those recordings. He put it on social media. Indeed, the defendant released audio recordings via social of himself and at least one of the minor children, wherein the defendant is probing and interrogating the child about issues that led to the divorce and other non-age appropriate matters specifically prohibited from being discussed by this court. So they're not telling us everything. Some of the things are left out. Martell, what are you thinking?
Sherelle, can I say something real quick? Because they saying that's old. We know that this is old, but somebody asked about it yesterday, and that was the reason why we was putting it out there.
Yeah.
Because it was asked yesterday. Yes, we know these was from 2021 and 2022, but
exactly. We know that it's old. What I'm talking about is the putting hands on people situation, okay? Where she reported it to the court when it came to her children, but allegedly they're covering up for him when it comes to these two, both of them, both of the women.
Well, you know what, Shiraz, you continue to read, but this is why he's out of control.
What do you mean?
When you got all the women in your circle covering up your nonsense,
and the producer,
you know, you creating a monster, and that's what you're gonna get. So he knows that not one of his chicks, so to speak, is going to say nothing. They're going to cover for him. The minute he gets in trouble, they got his back. It's like it's a crazy truffle, as they would say.
Someone just said in the chat that maybe Mel is covering for him because of the children. That's true. That could be possible.
But no, because here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. If you're covering for him for your children, then you want your children to have the best spot in life. And if he's abusing your children, that's not for them to have the best spot in life, because that's what they see as a male. That's what they're gonna grow up to emulate, and that's what they're gonna look for in a male, is that father figure.
But
a mother and a father figure play an important part in building their kids.
But let's not forget, opinion, those were her allegations. The court threw it out, said there was no evidence. So it's just weird. I don't know. It's complicated.
You know, I said it before, Sherelle. They're and especially, we're not saying anything facts. It's, well, let me tell something to you. Body language says everything, right? And when you want to disengage from a person, like I said yesterday, especially in this high level technology age, you can disengage, right? You can send their call to voicemail. You don't have to deal with them like that. You can tell the way these two move. One, they still love each other. Two, they probably still dealing with each other, but it's pissing her off probably because he keeps saying he wants her back, but then yet she probably finds out on the back end that he's still shuffling and diving with the other chick too. And now we got Sheree in the mix, right? So he wants to have it all, but then the different females involved are allowing him to have it all. Somebody got to put their foot down and be like, you know, stop, knock it off. You're not coming this way no more, when I know for a fact that you are potentially dealing with all these other people. You understand what I mean?
I don't know what to say about it, because I get being embarrassed from the public. I get it. But if you make the decision to cut it off, you got to cut it off. You can't cut it off when the camera stopped rolling. Does that make sense?
You mean cut it off when you mean cut it off when the cameras are rolling, but turn it back on when the cameras are off.
Yeah. But with that being said, I understand her. Everybody's in your business. She probably would have went back to him, but the cameras is on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people are judging. Why are you rolling your eyes, Diva?
No, I'm not. I'm looking at some of the comments and I'm just like, you know, everybody is, well, not everybody. A lot of people are 10 toes down. Like, we got this thing so twisted with Melanie, right? Mel is active. Come on, Chocolate. Well, thank you for connecting with us. Okay. She said Mel is an active participant in all the craps. Hashtag please. That's all we're trying to say, right? Whether you don't have to agree or not. She's an active participant in it because she's still, I mean, listen, let's be clear. I think they was together since college. Okay.
14 years.
Yeah, they've been together since college. Okay. They might have been married, 14 years, but they've been together, since college? That's a long time. So you've been together since college. And now here it is. This is the man that you've known and loved, right? For all darn near your whole life. I mean, when you get in college, you 18 when you go to college. Okay. So this is a man that you've known and loved your whole life, pretty much. Okay. You have his 4 babies. And he knows you inside and out. And here it is. You've been through all of this with him. You know, people can get used to mess.
I think that people are upset with us because they're saying Mel needs to take accountability for what she's doing, participating in the mess, enabling. I get that too.
Well, that right there, that super chat is 100%.
We're trying to be adult about this. I'm never going to come over here and say Mel ain't shit, Martell, this and that, because we are only seeing a portion of the picture. And
Right.
if the little bit that we heard that went on behind the scenes and that they're both still dealing with each other, makes me take a step back and don't go hard on nobody, because I don't know. It's complicated. Espar says, I don't know why you don't want to admit Mel is messy. I don't want to admit it because we're getting different portions of the story. And for me, saying ain't nobody's hands clean. So if you support one more than the other, ain't nobody's hands clean. No one on the show really likes her. And now the judge, y'all messy. Everyone can't be wrong about her.
I don't think, you know what? Well, let me say this really quickly, Sherelle. One, I interviewed Tiffany from the show, and Tiffany said that Mel and Martell are very much still in love. Very much still in love. Now, she works with them, right? And then in terms of the judge, it's not that, you know, the narrative was put out that the judge didn't like her. No, the judge, let me tell you, in family court, the judge, they're sick of the shenanigans. They don't like the shenanigans. They really, truly, and I said this yesterday, they really, truly want the parents to get their life together, act like adults for the kids, right? So, and they don't like you bringing accusations that you can't, you know, back up, because it's a waste of the court's time. So that's what they don't like.
And that's where I think I'm getting with it. Like,
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll find out.
They was ping-ponging. Like, both of them was throwing out accusations.
They're ping-ponging, going back and forth. Then sometimes they'll go to a court and they'll tell the court just enough. Oh, he kicked the son, but there's no evidence. Oh, we don't want this. So also, it's not all in these documents. Some documents have been withheld. So I know you were saying, somebody had said this yesterday, that there was some physical things going on between him and her in some parking lot. I'm talking about Mel and him. That evidence we can't get our hands on. You see what I mean? We know something went on that night with Arionne, because I called the jail myself. They gave me one story and then came out with another story. So everybody's covering up what's really going on. They're covering up things for Martell. They're covering up things for Mel. So I'm not going to put myself out there and be team nobody. I'm team common sense, and I'm trying to look at it through her eyes. Well, I still love this man, but everybody's staring at me. If I go back to him, I'm going to be labeled a fool. Then I see the shit that he doing. You still seeing different women, but telling her you want her back and give you another chance and pray on it, but you still the same old Martell. So who right and who's wrong? Who's right and who's wrong? Child, I'm just going to tell y'all what was going on. Let's go back to what happened this day when she said that he was a danger to the kids, and that he needed He didn't need to be around the kids, and he up there filming, recording the kids, and then playing it on social media. This is my example of telling y'all, ain't nobody's hands clean, just like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on, guys. Anyway,
and you missing some super chat, Sherelle, just so you know.
this is going crazy. Okay, just this one. Baby Girls 1981 says, I think at one time she probably was going back, but Martell can't keep baby Martell in pants. Exactly. Not to mention they're up for public consumption. Thank you, baby girl. Thank you. This is a mess. When we found out what was going on, me and Diva sat there, and even Opinion, we saying, damn. It's just like what you said yesterday, Diva.
Mm-hmm.
She took them back before, but she can't now because you got 5 million people staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's go back to what went down the day and just this craziness. So I wanted to get out there.
One, Sherelle, just so you know.
What was that?
Miss Woe, another super chat.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Shock value convo. Who put y'all up to this? What? Oh. Up to what? Mm-hmm. Be more specific. Who put me up to what? Investigating.
Okay, I think she's talking about the documents. If you talking about the documents, we went back because I think it was Anonymous came up and said that it was hidden allegations. So we putting it all out there. Yes, it's old, but we were trying to tell y'all what the judgment was of the recent thing. Y'all kept bringing up the allegations.
Yesterday, a person came up here named Anonymous, and she says there's more to this story that you guys aren't covering. There's an incident about the child. This is what I'm reading about today. There's an incident between Mel and Martell. Physical incident that we can't find these paperwork. And all of it is not in the documents. Okay? It's a cover-up here is what I'm trying to tell you. There's a cover-up. Oops. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. I just blocked somebody. I am so sorry. Perry, can you try to unblock them? Let's talk about the incident. I'm going to skip to the part you guys want to know. Let's talk about the incident with the kid. So the recordings, and then in the live recording, they said that Martell states, I do not want full custody. They're going back and forth, back and forth. So 1 minute he don't, the next minute he sues for full custody. I don't even know what games they're trying to play. But let me read this. Hold on, I'll get 1 second. Upon information and belief, the defendant Martell has used corporal punishment against his children after being ordered by his court not to engage in such behavior. So he had a warning before. I don't see him putting his hands on the kids, but they said we warned him about this corporate punishment that he does before. Engage in such behavior and punishment that was reported to the children's counselor and guardian ad litem. So it's been reported before. I'm just going to put it out there. You could choose to believe it or not. I ain't asking nobody to believe nothing. He's been accused of putting his hands or overly using his hands on the children. Okay. One of the incidents involved the defendant allegedly kicking the party's minor son in the groin/privates, an allegation corroborated by the child's other siblings. The child's other siblings. So there, do what you want with it. Another incident involved the parties being pinched. So that's what happened. I'm not going to say if I believe it or not, but it lends to some people think that this man is, what's the word they use? A narcissist and dangerous. This is in the court documents. And we haven't seen all the evidence because we can't find the incident that went down between Mel and Martell. Mel should have taken Tank to the pediatrics ER to substantiate the allegations and report it to CPS. That's why the judge dismissed it. Yeah. As an RN, I'm a mandatory reporter. As a parent, so is Mel. This is disturbing. I'm just putting it out there. That's what happened. She didn't know her power until she came on reality TV. He may have been a hoe, and she took him back over and over. The only difference is now y'all looking. Yeah. One more. Am I the only person who thinks that anonymous caller sounded a lot like Martell's lawyer? Pira Chowdhury? Just saying. I never heard the lawyer's voice. But I will say this, everything Anonymous has said was true about it not being all in the documents. And this was just a sliver of what we're seeing.
Well, no, Sherelle, the thing is, it was based on dates that were pulled, right? So they're not going to put every court date together. So the first document you had was the latest court date. And so there were other documents, right? So that's all that it really was. You had initially the latest court date, and there was some previous ones before that was not lumped with that particular one. I'm going to just say this. I get it, and a lot of people are labeling him as such, but when it comes to family court, and perhaps because the other person said they're a nurse, and definitely if you're a peds nurse, you would know this. I'm not minimizing what they're going through, but I will say this in terms of what is seen in family court, their situation is a walk in the park.
You mean it can get worse than this?
Oh, it's nasty. There's some real nasty stuff, and there is some stuff where you actually physically see the marks on children, and you actually physically see.
That's what I'm saying too, Diva. If this was reported time and time again that he puts his hands on his children, and he alleged puts his hands on women, both women. I don't know.
I told you this. Do I believe there perhaps is, I'm trying to choose my words wisely, some aggressiveness. We saw it on the show. If you really are a watcher from day one, when Melody and him broke up, and they were at, I want to say Nell's house, and I always forget her husband's name, but they went to their house. Mel and Martell went there because they look at that couple as they look up to that couple because they've been married a long time. They went there to talk, and Martell was being slick out his mouth saying why he was with Coleslaw, Arionne, to begin with, and all the things she was doing for him that Melody was not. They got the tossing and throwing some stuff at someone else's house in front of them. So if the situation could get that heated and they're on TV and they're at somebody's house, why would it be far-fetched that if they're alone, that it wouldn't even get worse or more heated? Do you know what I mean? So the husband at that time, if anybody remembers that episode, they kind of got up, the wife kind of stepped in, they was a little shocked because, like I said, it was actually some items being tossed and thrown because those two got so upset with each other, and that played out on TV.
Someone says, are y'all on slander assignment? By who? I guess by you. You stop me when I get to the slander because I'm being very, very gentle here and presenting to you what's really going on. You could believe whatever you want to believe. As for me, I wasn't going to give my opinion, but I am now. Let me tell you what's going on here. False rumor spreading court documents and changing the narrative. Who's behind this? Someone is getting sued. I don't know what that meant, but anyway, let me tell you what I think.
Sherelle, we're gonna get sued because we got false documents, and
you're not phasing me. I'm putting it out there, whether you like it or not. You take take away from it what you want, but it doesn't phase me. All of this stuff that's going on with the fans, what did they do? They wrote to the judge. They want something done. And then they're doxing other people that say things that they don't like. That's children's play. That's children's play. I ain't got time for the nonsense. If you feel that Martell is a narcissist, and if you say anything positive about Mel, that's what you think. But let me tell you what I think about this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel this is a cycle. They've been through this before. I feel that ain't nobody's hands clean, and the only victim here are the children.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody thinking about them damn kids. Somebody, so this kid says that, yeah, my dad kicked me, but the court doesn't believe it. The courts must be going through what we going through right now. Half truths, and this is what they said yesterday, and just lies and covering up. Is Mel covering up for her kids? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But ain't none of these people hands clean. It's a mess, and the only true victim here is the children. And I've told y'all before, I ain't team no damn body. I'm team truth. I'm a grown-ass woman, and I can see the picture for what it is. Would I judge Mel if she dipped and went back off camera? Because that's her relationship.
But not only that, Sherelle, that's what couples do.
That's what couples do. Mm-hmm. So let's drop the link. Y'all want to talk? Come on up. Let's do it.
The Dr. Truth says, so we saying the kids are lying?
Don't listen to the chat.
Okay,
these are immature people.
Yes. Okay, I gotta stop.
Very immature. You want me to get up here and lie and praise Mel and down Martell, and don't you say he a good? I'm not doing it. I'm coming on here and said this shit is messy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know all the information.
Mm-hmm.
Court documents are missing. And when we talk to people that's close to the situation, they saying y'all don't know half the truth. This shit messy as hell. They present one thing on camera and they do another behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all take what you want. I mean, I ain't team nobody. I'm team the kids.
Right.
And right now, I'm not gonna sit up here and bash Martell because everybody's hands is dirty.
They're all participating in the shenanigans, every last one of them. I'm talking, when I say that, I mean the adults. And it's not unlike, couples that when they're going through something, unfortunately, Sherelle, they use the kids.
You said that yesterday.
I said that
yesterday.
They use the kids.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Anonymous.
Hello, how you doing?
Girl, I want to talk to you. I'm gonna let you sound off first, and then I'll come back to you.
What up, people?
Okay?
No, actually, don't come back to me. Don't come back to me. I might go get something. So go to the next person before you come to me.
Hey, Sherelle.
Okay. Can I say something? Somebody turn their background down or go on mute. Sound off, Anonymous.
Well, I wanted to ask that motion that was dealing with Tank. What date was it?
Hold on. 8/29/2022.
Okay.
So you said yesterday that we are only seeing a portion. What made you say that?
Well, because there were other things that happened. Not only it really wasn't on the show, but it was during what Martell said when he was in his red hat, sitting in a Popeyes parking lot. He revealed it, and then Melody in her, I think it was Instagram or on her report, refuted some of the things. Now, what we do know is there was a motion filed, and for 56 days, Martell could not see his kids.
It was longer than 56 days. It was actually 80
how many days was it?
It was 83, I think it was.
83 days. Okay. So usually I'm thinking if he didn't do anything.
They found out he didn't do it. She kept him from him for 83 days.
Yeah, but in all fairness, if they're going to allow the child, if there's something that didn't show something, they wouldn't have him be away from the children for 83 days.
Let me tell you also, you said this yesterday, and I fully agree. This should have been sealed.
Yeah, and this is the thing I was telling you. This is why it should be sealed. And even though a party might want to keep it open for a storyline, possibly.
No, I wholeheartedly believe that.
It's better for the judge to seal it, because this is the thing. if the reports are true that the person is being doxxed, a judge should know, okay, these are public figures right now. At least in Huntsville, Alabama, they were public figures. They had a business, they were, known. These type of matters, when dealing with children, you do want to have it under seal and under gag order.
So I'm being told that someone said something, and the audience took it against Mel. So they start doxing people that are giving information. And you were saying something about this.
Well, that's a risk that the judge. I'm just saying, court officials should know this could happen.
I see what you're saying.
You gotta keep because and Diva's right, and really I was trying to say yesterday, everybody was right. This is about the best interest of the children. Mm-hmm. We know everybody is emotional because you're dealing with matters of the heart. There might still be love there. You know what I mean? So everybody has to calm down. And that's why, as an officer of the court or the judge should understand, because even Love and Marriage Huntsville, they were public figures in Huntsville.
But the thing is, Anonymous, you're a lawyer, so you know this. It's not up to the judge to say, let me sell this. The lawyer should have said it. The lawyer that you hired knows you're a public figure, and you hire them because they have the smarts to understand the law. And because you're emotional, you're not going to think, oh, let me sell this. I'm a public figure. People are going to get it. Your lawyer should have said, let's get this, put a motion in to get this sale because you are a public figure. So my thing is,
now that's true. I thought there was. I just think, again, it's the discretion of the judge. Some judges like to have things public. I'm just saying this is the cons that you see. You get what I mean? They're not thinking, okay, what's happening could also have consequences. And that's
let me ask you this. Because once I found out that both women have been covering up for this man, I was kind of done and backed away. And including the alleged producer has covered up for this man. We know he covered up about him being in jail because we had an attorney that came on and read the report right in front of us. Do you understand why do you think these women are covering up for him?
It's complicated. Let's start with the peasant, Arionne Curry. If Martell is her only source of income right now, she's codependent on him. Usually you'll see people who are victims of DV.
I don't think she's dependent on him. Doesn't she make more money than him?
She doesn't make any money. Allegedly, she's not working. She's on government assistance.
You're talking about Melody?
No, I'm talking about the peasant, Arionne Curry.
You called her the peasant.
I started with her first.
Let's talk about why do you
think calling her a peasant? That's the only reason.
Why do you think Arionne is covering up for him?
Well, she's codependent on him. Like, if what people who are victims of DV will it's kind of like the pressure. If you have me go, you can't get money. You can't get certain things. So they'll do like a stockholder syndrome and will accept it as a pattern of the cycle. Okay. I think for Melody, her issue is she's thinking of the kids. Do you really want, now is it right or true? Probably not, but do you really want their father to be in prison? Right. You get what I mean? There's a lot.
Yeah. So
I think and this is what I was telling you about yesterday. We're dealing with mental illness. We're dealing with a person that is not well, that's losing everything. And if you lost everything, you might act the same way. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but I think that's one of the reasons why Melody has made a conscious decision to keep Love and Marriage Huntsville going, because that's his only check. So it's a very delicate balance, because when they do lose everything, I'm just saying, they could be the most dangerous and they'll take everybody out.
Let me pivot really quickly to you, Dawn. And you want to make it perfectly clear that don't take this man as a father, but we're hearing all of these conflicting stories and everybody's hands seems to be dirty. Now, I talked to you personally on the phone. What are your thoughts today?
My thoughts today are this is the. I just want to first start by this because the comments have been kind of disturbing. This is the problem with the news today, with between Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. Everyone runs to their corners and want to believe what they're being fed instead of wanting to hear truth. No one wants to hear truth anymore. And if you tell them truth, then you're being biased, or they're just shaking their head that you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, because we're so used to being team. I'm team this person, I'm team that person. But when people are reading court documents to you, you have a hard time digesting it. And they're lying, they're being paid, they're doing this, these this it's the four corners of the court document
Come on now.
that is being read to us. This is not a biased thing. She was just reading the four corners of the court document. There was no bias in that, people. So let's just start. Let's not retreat to our corners. Let's try to agree on the truth first. What was in those four corners?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Martell kicked his son. It's in the four corners. The paperwork says that he kicked his son. There was no evidence found in that, that they're saying that he kicked his son. His son, little Martell, I think that's his name, said that his dad kicked his son. Melody, accused him of that. The other kids said that they witnessed that. My opinion is that when Junior got in front of that guardian ad litem and got comfortable, he may have changed his mind or tried to protect his father from doing that. If this is the case, Martell, and I've been saying this the entire time, this man may be dangerous to his kids. Put him more paperwork, so the next time they go to court, there is no question. There is no question. But you can't be, and here's the mail. You can't be listening to this producer because you want to keep this man on the show and take this man on vacation with you that just kicked your son in the balls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with him. I get that. Sebastian, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts are this. If the child was obviously hit in that place, that is child A. That is child A. Spanking your child is not A, but that is A. There's a limit that you go, there's a limit.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is dangerous, he should not be around his kids. But if there was already a resolution and the courts have seen that he's made progress, they don't immediately snatch parental rights from just one instance.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be continuous for them to really snatch parental rights. Because Martell has been going to therapy, he has been putting in the effort. I don't like Martell because I do think he needs a lot of help. He does need a lot of help. But if he is seeking that type of help, he could be around his kids if he's not doing these things anymore.
Whew, it's complicated.
And I'm gonna have to say this. I need the mellometers, Melody's fan base. I'm addressing them personally right now. The way y'all are coming for Sherelle in this chat, acting as if she was bought, is not right at all. Please, y'all need to stop.
No, they don't. I don't really care. And if that's what they think. But you're not going to force me into making the decision or talking bad about someone when my heart's not there. And I just think there's so much shit going on that we don't know about that I'm not in the position
to pick a side.
Dragging people right now. I need to know.
Side. I picked the side. I'm on the side of the kids. That's the side I'm on. I'm on the side of the kids.
Side, yeah.
I'm in the side of these parents and kids working together to help do what's in the best interest of the children. Everybody's emotional. Let's calm down. That's all. We there's a time to get angry. There's a time to kind of be still and be peaceful. This is very emotional for a lot of people. But I want to be fair to everybody that,
Yeah.
everybody has their views. But when you're dealing with these family law custody cases, it can get very emotional.
It's
And a lot
it's
of people don't know they got to do things for the children, but also to respect each parents, but also allow them a vehicle. And that's why I said therapy probably will help more than anything. Therapy allows you to have a safe place to talk to someone confidentially, to work your issues out so that when you meet the public and other people, you'll be calm.
yeah.
So,
Pia,
that's the thing.
Pia.
Yeah, I was going to say that the whole situation to me has gotten out of control.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to fault Melanie if she's still messing around with Martell. That must be a very hard thing where you've been with someone since college. You
Yeah.
can't just turn those emotions off. So I'm not going to even fault her for that.
Mhm.
The issue is just admit it. Just admit that, yeah, I still have feelings. I still care. I'm not always going to care, not only because you're the father of my kids, but because we actually built a life together. But I can't see myself getting back with you because of how you embarrassed me,
Mhm.
especially on national television. My problem with Martell is he thinks he's slick. And the real reason why that drink got thrown on him is because, and this is why Melody doesn't like to put her business out there. Melody went through extreme postpartum depression because there was a point in her time, and she talked about this, where she couldn't take care of her kids.
Mhm.
And he threw that back up in her face, and he used that as an excuse to cheat on her.
Oof, this is
Yeah.
a
And
mess.
that's why he got that drink thrown up beside his head.
Mhm.
So that's the thing. But the side that I'm on is with the kids, because for some strange reason, parents don't seem to comprehend that when you're going through a divorce, you have kids. Why do you have to make it nasty? Sooner or later, your kids are going to grow up and they're going to see it.
I mean, I think anonymous. A lot of parents, it's probably so emotional. You don't realize what you're doing to
Right.
record your
Well,
damn
it's because
kids.
they have tunnel vision. Sherelle, they have tunnel vision. And most
Yeah, that's
people,
it.
officers of the court, know this. And
Mhm.
that's why I was saying why you wanted to have the gag order for this. Because the kids could look at this and then you're
Later in
causing more
life.
problems.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, they did have a
Doctor.
they did have a gag order in place, and that was the reason why Martell got the sanctions. Just to put it out there, they
Yeah,
were
I
not
got you.
supposed to talk about the case at all, and because he talked about it, that was the reason why he got sanctioned.
He
Yeah.
talked
Yeah.
about that's crazy.
And I agree with
Is
that. I'm
it
just saying that's why people do that. That's all. We're
Doctor of
dealing with the
Love?
truth now. It's leaked. I can't, we can't worry about it, but we give
hmm
context.
Doctor of Love, what are your thoughts on this mess? It's a mess.
It's a mess. It's always been a mess. It's going to be a mess for a few more years because
Mm.
I don't think that everyone is looking at this full picture. They're not looking at the fact of how long they have been married. They're not looking at the fact that, yes, Mel probably did go back to him in the beginning and now she have woken up. It's like a lot of things they're not looking at. And being a woman married for 25 years with children, okay, it is just not that hard to send this person to jail that you will no longer have for your children. And sometimes it's about your child. So it's not that easy. And to
Mhm.
me,
Mhm.
he probably have had issues with Mel and Mel hit him and he hit her, but she drew the line when he hit that son. And
Mhm.
I do believe also that that son was trying to protect Mel in the situation when all of this happened. And as you see, he haven't touched those kids again because as we see,
Yeah,
you
that's
teach
true.
somebody. Sorry
Oh, what
about that.
happened?
Sorry about that. That was my phone. But as you guys were saying too, you teach somebody how to treat you. And the minute he touched that son, she was 911. She ain't do it with her throughout the 11 and 12, 14 years. No. But when it came to that son, she really taught him he ain't touched another one of them kids, another child after he got mad. And then what people are not taking in perspective is these children. And I don't like that. I don't know how many of you guys on this panel have a son, but sons don't play about their
Their mother.
mothers. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know if the little boy went over there, got sideways with Martell, or been getting sideways with Martell, whatever. Girls, it's a different aspect. I have 3 boys, I know, and I have 1 girl. Boys don't play about their mothers. They just don't. So there's that issue. And that's why I think this needs to be took off of the internet
Oh
about
my
whatever
God.
happened with this child. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, it's going to be enough of issues when he turned 15 and 16 and know the real, that you cheated on my mother, and what cheating is, what a girlfriend is, what love is, or he may think he know at that age. But it's going to be a whole nother issue. So this, whether we know it or not, this not going to stop them not being on TV with her. That's not going to stop it. When those 2
Yeah.
children
Yeah.
get older, and you don't know which one of them girls going to turn to. So that's
Mhm.
a whole nother issue for me that people not looking at, to say, for me. And another thing, we have to understand how young Mel is, because she doing her best to level up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, it's like, Mel, I hope you're listening. You have to level up for your kids at the end of the day. It's
Tell her
all
again, just in
about
case she
your
watching. Tell her again.
kids. Yeah,
Mhm.
Mel, you have to level up to the point of unconsciousness, and it's for your kids. I don't think Martell is there. I don't think he'll get there for another good 5 years. Now,
Okay.
Mel, I think she can get there. And it's just a thing between male and females. The way we are, how we mature. It's nothing about Martell. And oh, and please, people, if you're not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, quit diagnosing him on here, because you don't have the proper
You can look at the
degree.
traits though.
You don't have the proper degree, and you definitely do not have a, okay. Just don't do it, because you don't supposed to do it. And I'm telling you from knowing. Okay, just stop calling somebody a narcissist when there is a DSM-5, okay? And then there's another book that we, or that people go by to say, yes, this is what you have, because that's not what Martell have. He's not a narcissist. He has a personality disorder, way much more before somebody should say a narcissist. So,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
you,
And I'm not
I
diagnosing
agree
him,
with.
and I'm not saying that neither. I'm just saying, what I see. And I'm quite sure everybody else can see some things. But if you're not sitting in a chair with him, and you're not doing 3 to 4 sessions with him and knowing what he truly has, it could be something from childhood or whatever. I wish that people would stop. Because once again, these people have kids. They got kids.
Well, even I said that to
Speak
you
on
guys.
it. I love you.
I said that to
Yeah,
you.
but we can look at the behavioral traits, and that's why they have it published. They
You
have
don't
the
have a
10
license to
traits of a
diagnose.
narcissistic sociopath.
You don't have
They
a
have the
license
10
to
traits of a
diagnose.
malignant narcissist.
One
They
at
have
a
the
time.
10
One at a
traits of
time.
a narcissist.
I'm with you, Dr. Love. That's all
You
I
don't
have
have a
to
license to
It
diagnose.
takes
And
a
if you
while to
was in the
diagnose
medical
mental health.
field,
Hold
No,
on.
I
you
Let
said
would
her
if we
know
see the
this.
behavioral, you can
hold
look
on.
at the
Let
behavioral.
Dr. Love speak. We can't hear her. She's talking very soft. What did you say,
Whoever
Dr.
I was
Love?
talking to, you don't have a license to diagnose. And if you was in the medical field, you would know this. You can't diagnose people. You shouldn't be even on here trying to diagnose people without a license. You cannot do that.
She's
Well,
speaking facts, Sherelle. I want to say this. I think it's a little. This is against nobody. I'm not saying this directly to anybody, but I think it's reckless to throw out those words about somebody because, like Dr. Love said, you have not sat with that person to determine anything. That's why yesterday I said that there's a ton of couples, there's boyfriend and girlfriends, there's husband and wives, there's common law people that when they break up, they go through this same similar phase on different
Exactly.
levels. So I
Exactly.
do, and that's why even here, and I told everybody I'm a nurse, even here I talk generic. I don't know for a fact
Right.
anybody's situation. I just say generically what could
Right.
happen. But I totally connect with Dr. Love. It's not fair because one, we don't know. We're seeing snippets of stuff. And then sometimes one person's situation gets pumped out there more than the other situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think that to clearly say that this person is this and they're acting like somebody else who has literally taken someone's life is the same type of way.
I think she's
it's a lot.
talking hypothetically. She's saying, I see these symptoms in him. That's what
It's
I
the
think she's saying.
traits. I'm not physically diagnosing anybody. They
Okay.
have it. All I can tell you, there's a company called, it's public record, Choosing Therapy. They give you the 10 traits of a narcissistic sociopath, the 10 traits of a malignant narcissist, and the 10 traits of a narcissist that the public can see. If
Okay,
you're
well, let
just
me tell you
observing
this.
behavior of
Okay, let
what's
me say
shown
this
on
to you.
TV,
Let me tell you
somebody
this
can
from a
say
medical
that these
perspective.
behavior
Hold on,
matches
one at
that.
a time.
Okay.
Okay, let me let everybody speak. Can you sound
Okay.
off True Wisdom? You're on mute. Yeah. True Wisdom. Okay, I got to move on. Natty, sound off.
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
Uh,
Natty.
Mel may have, like they say at the beginning,
Mhm,
and she will always have love for Martell, but
mhm,
loving somebody and being in love with somebody is two different things. He has called her a 304 on in public. He has called her a horrible mother. He
mhm,
has trash talked her to everybody he sees. Now with the 30 with the he said it was 56 days. He went live and said he didn't get to see his children for 56 days. The
That was the
court papers
part.
may say 83. I'm semantics in the numbers. It was alleged that him and Coleslaw was fighting. And he did kick the baby, but it was accidental. In the
mm.
midst, he was trying to stop them from fighting. He had saw so much. He was trying to break them up.
Who was fighting?
Coleslaw came over to Miss Marlene's house and the kids were there.
But how did the kid get accidentally kicked?
He was trying to break up the fight.
Well, then why would the kid not say he accidentally kicked me?
That would be why she subpoenaed the 911 calls to Israel. You remember we were trying to figure out why she wanted the
You know,
911 call?
Yeah.
when a kid go home, uh, and might say, he might have been walking funny. And she say, what's wrong? Oh, daddy kicked me right here. He
Got
might,
you.
and if
Yeah.
you tell me, if somebody come and tell me you kicked my minor child in the
Mm-hmm.
My
groin,
son.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna call 911.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mel protected him all through their marriage.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
covered him.
Mm-hmm.
And she always said, even at the Madani, she said, you don't want your children to see this. She has never talked about it bad to him to those kids. I don't think he is talk. He is interrogating them, and he said on live that he does corporal punishment in his home. They get away with murder when they with mail, but they don't do that at his house. He did a live where he had them out for Christmas, and he was the baby sugar mama was walking by herself to Mariah when they got her, and she said, "It's cold, Daddy." And he was like, "We want to look at the lights." That baby said, "I want my mama. I'm cold." He did the live himself with that. And on the show when they were in Vegas, the
Mm-hmm.
producers had to run and get Maurice to physically restrain him
Damn.
because he went in her bedroom on that trip. He had tried to come in there the night before and get in bed with her, and she wouldn't allow it. And he was in there trying to talk to her about it, and she was asking him to get out. And he physically tried to get her. The producer ran and got Marceau out of the pool, and he literally drug him out of that room.
Whew.
And that was documented.
Mm.
Now, what he did say was, "Male fight back." He said that when Marceau was
He
talking to him,
says
he
she
said,
know how
"He
to
fights
fight.
back."
Yep. He says she know how to fight. That's what he
And that's
said.
what I'm hearing behind the scenes. I'm hearing
Yeah.
that they've been going at it, and she covers for him. And
He threatened to slap on this season coming up. Tiffany is pregnant. Martell threatened to slap that pregnant woman because she asked Sheree, how could she be with a cheater?
Joe did. He Joe did.
All right, Natty. Thank you for coming on. I'm gonna let everybody
Let me
talk.
say one more thing.
Yeah, go
If
ahead. Go ahead.
Martell was such a good father, he would be trying to get baby Knox from Coleslaw.
Thank you.
Ooh.
That girl goes on live at 6 o'clock in the morning feeding that baby popsicle.
Cupcakes.
He almost drowned in a swimming pool, and our daughter had to go get him, and she was on live, and that baby was in a swimming pool almost drowned. He
Well,
told Melody on TV he would take the kids and he wouldn't work since she was so busy, and she could pay him child support.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm
I
not
remember.
saying it, but Marlene is the problem with Martell, his mother. She sees nothing he does wrong. When he told her he was going to therapy, she said, "What for? Ain't nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a good son. You're a good man." Martell does not work.
Wait, who cracking
Martell,
up?
Pia.
Who cracking up?
Martell
He is
could not even pass
he is
You know that
the
Tia
business.
laugh.
Okay,
Martell could not pass the business license test, and it's an open book test. Martell did not go to college till he was
True.
20 years
True.
old, and Mel
True.
did his
who is
homework.
laughing like that?
y'all are
Martell,
messy.
another reason
Oh
he
my
won't
god.
talk to me. He don't want Mel's brother watching them because of his sexuality. But he let his uncle watch them, who got him a criminal record for trying to rob an ATM machine that was empty.
I remember that. That's true.
But
That's
that's
true.
a good father. If you're a good father, you're not gonna leave your baby freezing in the cold. And he walking off, the baby is way behind him on Christmas, and it's a street out there. The minute that baby said she was cold, he should have put them kids in the car and took them home.
Right.
All right, y'all. Listen, I got a lot. Natty, everything you said was absolutely correct. It's a mess. It's a mess. I
Hello,
got.
can you hear me now? Oh,
Huh?
sorry. No, I was
Can I?
asking if you could hear me now.
Oh yeah, I can't hear you. Listen, True and Denzel, you guys haven't had a turn to speak. I'm trying to get somebody up here, so I got to clear the backstage.
Okay.
Me, Diva, and I got to clear it up and bring up
I'll
someone else.
go. I'll go, Sherelle. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
go.
Right. Me
Thank you
It's
too.
for
been a pleasure.
everything. Thank you for
Right.
everything.
Have
All
a
right.
good
Let's,
evening, guys. Thanks.
okay. Thank you. Let's
Bye,
change
Dr.
panels.
Love.
Bye, guys. All right. They're clearing up the backstage. Now we should have more room. The link is at the top in the blue. Just click the link, Leah, and come on back. In the meantime, Sebastian, you haven't spoke. Sound off.
Okay, I did speak. I said stuff briefly, but I'm gonna say this.
Mhm,
At the end of the day,
mhm,
about the situation of Melody leaving the kids with her brother,
mhm,
technically, if you are not available, you should seek the other parent
mhm,
who is to
mhm.
watch the kids. If he is not available at that time either, then you should post to get a third party involved. And I believe the judge made note of that in the last judgment.
I mean, we got a lot of people. Let's start. Kiki, sound off. Kiki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello, welcome to the panel. Sound off.
Hey, okay, so I'm gonna make this real quick because I'm gonna have to run back inside to my baby real quick. But my
Okay.
thing is, I have a question for the women because in the beginning, from season one, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't like Mel. Probably didn't even like her season two. Maybe started liking her season three. But regardless to how messy people may feel she is, that has nothing to do with what Martell did to end his marriage. Like I don't understand how women can sit up and defend this man's actions by trying to say, "Well, Mel's messy." Male sneaking, male's this, male's that. That didn't end their marriage. So I don't understand how women can be in the chat blaming her for what he did.
Well, not. I mean, listen. Why I said I'm not gonna make no decision because this shit is messy. Mel's defending him, and so is Coleslaw, and so is Carlos King. Everybody's enabling him.
But
Carlos
what
King
has
is
Mel
Miller.
done to defend? Okay, now one thing I can say that people are ignoring is the fact that, well, okay, let's say like when Martell posted that video of him interrogating Mariah,
Hold on one second.
that
Hold on a
child
second.
said
Hold on one
that
second. Hold on one second. Everybody go on mute because somebody has an echo. Go ahead, Kiki. I'm sorry.
it's probably me. Is am I
Oh
echoing?
no, it's not you. Go ahead.
Okay, when he posted that video of Mariah, that child said nothing wrong that her mama did um to them. All she said was her mama put them in counseling and she went over with them what happened, in their marriage, what caused their divorce. Now, when people heard that, a lot of people were saying that Mel was wrong for talking to her children about it. But what other way do you prepare them for what they're about to go through than you tell them? Like, it's
Yeah.
just a lot of
It's
stuff
in the
that
it's in
that
the
I'm
order
not
for them not to.
understanding.
It's in the order for them not to talk to the kids about the what's going on in their marriage.
But this was before they went to court when he posted that video, if I'm not mistaken, when he
No,
recorded
it couldn't have
Mariah.
been before because that's what the motion was for. Because he had posted it online.
So she
Eugene.
wasn't able to explain to her children what was going on in their
No, they was
family.
no. That's the reason why they was all ordered to go to counseling together, and that was the reason why Martell got the sanction because he did not go to court. He also got another sanction because. I mean, he did not go. He did not go to counseling. He got a sanction for that, and then he got a sanction for putting it on live, interrogating the kids because he wasn't supposed to be talking about nothing with the kids nor the public.
Okay, but I'm speaking on what Mel did. I'm trying to see. You're saying that she was wrong for talking to Mariah, talking to her kids about what was going on.
Yes,
So that
because
was
their
something that
kids.
the counselor was
They,
supposed to do.
yes, they were supposed to be going to counseling to deal with how they gonna deal with the breakup of the marriage. They're not supposed to talk to their kids about anything that's going on in the marriage. There's even we haven't even got through all the documents because there's a document where one of the girls was crying because Martell was not able to come to a birthday party. So it's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot.
Anyway, what were you trying? The point you were trying to make, Kiki?
Well, the point that I was trying to make, like I was just trying to get an understanding, I guess, like of this with the interaction between me and the women that was just speaking. I'm not understanding how women are blaming Melody for what happened in her marriage, for Martell's actions. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't understand how, even if
She.
she's messy or whatever you want to say she is, like one person put her to nobody on the cast like her. It seemed to me like everybody like her, like they're envious of her. They try to do everything that she's doing. So it's not that they don't like her. And by her separating herself from them, she's messy or she's being cold or she's being just mean by her trying to distance herself from the people that's bringing problems in her life. I guess
Now
that's what I'm trying to
I will.
understand.
I will say this. I agree with you. I like Mel a lot, but did everything she do was perfect? No,
No,
but
no,
look how what was done to her. Like the whole thing's just messy. Taking him back, people are faulting her for that. People don't understand until it's done to you. You don't know how you're gonna react in that situation.
exactly. And I
Feelings.
do agree with one person when they said it's because of the cameras rolling. Now, had they not been on this show, Mel and Martell, I feel that they would have been back together. But
For
because
sure.
everybody's talking about it, everybody see it, it's
Mhm,
embarrassing. He
mhm.
disrespected her. He allowed Arionne to disrespect her. He got the cast to gang up on her. I think that's really what made me like Mel because I don't like that gang up stuff. Like this woman had to stand by herself and
Mhm,
face all of these people head
mhm.
on alone. They had their parents with them, they had their husbands with them, and she was by herself. That's strength in itself to me. And I just don't understand how women can sit there and just not at least sympathize with her. Like, try to put, you
Right.
got to put yourself in somebody else's position before you can sit up and try to make judgment of them. I guess that's all. I just don't understand how, women can sit and just not even try to feel or understand where someone else is coming from when their whole life is being judged. I just don't get it.
And you have to realize too, she do love him, and so she might forgive him, but every time it happens again, it's like a new dagger in your heart.
Yeah,
And
14 years, you can't help but to love somebody. So, like, I mean, that's hard to let go. 4 kids, 14 years,
yeah,
businesses, your first everything. So, I mean, I can understand that, but that's all I wanted, Sherelle, because it took me a long time to get on here. So I know somebody
I
else
know.
probably trying to come on. So, yeah, they can
Thank
go
you.
ahead. I'll just go.
I appreciate you calling in. Take care. The whole thing is complicated. It's a lot, y'all. Dr. LA Sound Off.
Hi, Sherelle. Good evening, everyone. I'm really enjoying this conversation. Just to give a little bit of background,
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Everybody, please go on mute so we can hear her. Go ahead.
I am a licensed therapist here in the state of Georgia, so I did put a quick comment in, and I do work with, couples with co-parenting, marriage counseling, and therapy. And I'm also divorced. And I will say, as hard as it is to believe it, when you're in a marriage, and Sherelle, you've been married for a long time with Perry, both parties has to take ownership for the dissolution of a marriage. There may be one that may need more ownership. Maybe it's an 80-20, 70-30. But to be fair, both parties have had some level of what they've done for the marriage to dissolve. Now, what I will say is I've seen it over and over again in co-parenting that oftentimes the parent who is bitter or upset, usually because there's been a transgression in marriage, typically the woman, they will weaponize the children against the man. Now, one thing I will say from a psychological perspective, when you see people who are angry and bitter, it's because they're hurt. Now, I am a divorced wife. And so when my ex-husband moved on, that was hurtful. So to blame someone for breaking up a family and to see them move on to live what looks like their best life, and here you are stuck with doing the heavy lifting with the children in the day-to-day by yourself, that can make you angry. And so because you're angry, sometimes you do things that you normally would not have done if you were not in that position. So I'm by no means a millimeter. By no means am I.
Wait, when did we get the name millimeter? When did they do that?
I have no idea. I personally am not a fan of the name because I don't really know what that means, but I'm just a watcher from the bushes. But again, I just want to give a psychological perspective that there's both parties who are hurt. And as you said, I have to agree, they're still in love with one another.
They really are.
I applaud Mel for moving on, but I will say this, from the place of the kids, I do think that she needs to reflect on how she's moving because it is impacting the relationship with the children and their father. My mother is divorced as well. And one thing my mother never did, she never bashed my father. When I was of age, I was able to see for myself the type of man he was. And I do the same thing with my two kids. I step to the side so they can have a relationship. Because here's one thing I will say, and I'll leave you with this. It's not fun being a Black person in America not being able to have a relationship with your father. When I was a school counselor, I had so many kids come to me and cry and say, my dad didn't even call me to wish me happy birthday. So on the outside, we as mothers think we're protecting our kids, but the kids are looking at it as if they've done something wrong or they're not being loved. So
That's right.
It's about
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all I wanted to share. No, thank you.
That was excellent. It's a lot. Jasmine, sound off. You're on mute. Jasmine. All right, let me bring up someone else.
So why?
Can I say something? I haven't spoken. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You haven't. I heard you say you haven't spoken. Go ahead.
Who's saying that?
That was me, True Wisdom.
Okay, go ahead, True.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Great Head Diva and everyone, beautiful queens in this chat. I just wanted to say from a point of view of being married for almost 30 years, August, which is very rare to find. I agree with some of you on the panel. Let me say it this way. I've never dealt with infidelity, so I cannot even speak on that.
Listen, True. I need you to speak very quickly because you have a bad connection and it's hurting people.
Oh, I do?
Yeah. Can you?
Hold on. You know what? I'll mute, change my headset, and then if you don't mind coming back to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Hannah, welcome to the chat. Sound off, Hannah.
Thank you, Sherelle. Hello, panel and everyone. Yes,
Hey.
I've been listening and enjoying the show, but however, I do hear a lot of, you know, information that Melody has already explained. Number one, I heard someone say that the little girl was crying because her dad did not come to the birthday party.
That's true.
Melody showed invitations where she invited Martell. Martell was in Atlanta. He chose not to come to the party. So when we're talking about information like that, I don't think that Melody has done it. I'm not going to say anything, but from what I see, Martell is instigating a lot of this stuff. I don't blame her for anything when it comes to protecting her children. There's a lot of things that she's already put out that, that tells us that she definitely has her children's best interests at heart. And Martell, I think that Melody despises this man. I don't think she really like him anymore because of everything that he put her through. So she's out of that. He continues to want to harass her for whatever reason. It is unexplainable to me why he continues to do this. So I just want to say that a lot of the things that we're saying negative about Mel, what I'm hearing about negatively about Melody, she's already explained. And I'm going to tell you, I think every last one of us has gone through the majority of us has gone through a relationship that we broke up and we don't care nothing about the person anymore. That was it's gone. So why should she stick with this? I mean, why do we think that she still wants this clown? She doesn't want him. She wants him to leave her alone. That's it. And that's all, in my opinion. And she has made so many strides to do that. And then the other thing we got to remember is that she doesn't see her kids. She have to 7 days on, 7 days off. They agreed to that. Martell was the one that started tracking babysitters and all of this. And all of this stuff that he bought about during this custody is going to backfire on him just like everything else, in my opinion.
Wait, hold on. How do you think it's going to backfire? Really quickly, because I got to...
The one thing that I think that all of the stipulations that he put in place where you can't have the kids, for one thing, that the parents or grandparents can't keep them but 1 day out of whatever it is, all of those stipulations he's going to need before Melody needs. So it's going to backfire on him.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I thought of right off the bat, because everything is just too tight and too strenuous for anyone to be able to follow.
You're absolutely right about that. That's why I took a step back. I'm not condemning nobody. They need professionals. This is too much.
Sherelle, didn't on next week's preview, didn't Martell show up to the party and then she rejected him or denied him to come in? That's what someone put in the chat. I'm just saying.
She did.
It was a party. We don't know which child party it was versus what the other situation is speaking about, but yes, it's showing that on the show. Blocking him from coming in the party. We got to see how it play out, because you know how they do the previews.
That's true.
They played that.
Talking about that party,
and then she let him in. But yeah, it probably was a different party that she was referring to.
Everybody go on mute and let Angel Eyes speak. Yeah.
Can I say this?
Hold on, Natty. Who's that, Natty? Who said that?
That was
me.
The reason that he didn't want to come to that party for the party because they had agreed he would give them their own party. He went to that party because that councilman that got caught stealing, they were working together, and he was at that party, and he thought that was Melody's boyfriend.
Oh wow!
I don't think that was the case. Like I said, the custody has different clauses. I think Mel has the birthdays of the odd years, and I think Martell has the even years.
All right, let me let Angel Eyes speak. I'm still trying to get Leah in, and we are just backed up. Sound off, Angel.
Say something, and I'll drop down since I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, go ahead, True.
Just real quick, if you can hear me now. So I was just saying, my husband and I have disagreements back and forth, right? As everybody, especially being married this long. So my thing is, I think Mel probably in the beginning when they separated, maybe even at the time they first divorced, might have been going back and forth with Martell. It's very hard to cut that connection with the type of relationship and chemistry that they had. It's hard because even with our little disagreements my husband and I have, I'll say, well, I'm not going to cook his food today. And then you get soft and you say, well, I'm not going to give it to him or serve him the food. You'll go cook it. You always find excuses to make, things better as a woman in your marriage. You're always going to fight for that marriage. Mel was fighting for her marriage. I see that just based on, clips we see or whatever. I think, in my opinion, she was really fighting for her marriage. Did she turn bitter at some point? Yes. In my opinion, I feel that she turned bitter at some point, because when you've put in so much work, especially when you put in work to someone who wasn't even that, I don't want to call him, I hate putting labels, so I agree with that doctor earlier, but someone who might not have been as articulated or could articulate well or have the education that she might have had, when you put so much work into that person and then this person do you dirty, you become bitter because of things like that. So she might have done these things or whatever. People might be saying, I don't know, I'm not going to judge her, because it hurts when you've done that work or you've helped. She even, like she said in the clip we saw where she paid his school fees to finish school, she helped him study, all these things, and then this person basically just stabs you in the back when you've helped build them. That is a serious kind of hurt that nobody really could explain, especially when they also cheat on you, have a baby on you, and then turn around and don't have your back the way you had theirs. One of the things Mel said was, you never had my back. You didn't fight for me. As a woman, we want our husbands to fight for us. We want our husbands to make us feel like we're wanted and check anybody that comes and tries to say anything to us or do anything to us. You want to make sure your husband is there to say, look, this is not going to happen on my watch with my wife. Martell did not do that. So I personally think Martell, he messed up a really good thing from what we can see, because nobody can see, what happened behind closed doors. Do I blame her for going back and forth with him if she did? No. I think love is still there, and that love is not going to be you just throw that away. That love that she would have for him from college, that's what me and my husband had. I knew him from middle school, and then we got married and been together almost 30 years. That's a serious kind of bond. Nobody's going to be able to destroy that or come between that. But I think where Mel is now is so much hurt and bitterness because of what he messed up and what they had. She now needs to really get to that point of forgiveness and getting over that. Not that she will ever probably take him back, but she really needs to get to that point. And guess what? If she did take him back, that's on them. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do think, and I agree with you guys, that there is an embarrassment, because that's why you don't tell your family your business, because you'll go tell your sister, yeah, because he did this challenge, he did this. And then when he comes around or apologizes, your family's still mad. So you keep your relationship private and stop spreading, telling your business. But this situation is public. So it's hard for her now. If Martell come back on a white horse and Christ himself came down and present Martell to Melody, I think that's going to be hard for her to say she forgives him and go back, because she'll get roasted, blacklisted from her family. And I think that's not a right place to put her in. Let them live their life. Just leave them be. Pray for them. That's all I wanted to say, Sherelle. I'll drop down.
Thank you, True. I appreciate it. Okay, Angel Eyes, sound off.
Good day, everybody. And thank you very much for finally being able to voice my opinion.
Okay.
As far as Martell is concerned, I pity him.
Oh,
I know a lot of people want to hate him. It is easy to hate, it is easy to dislike, but I pity him because unfortunately, Martell does not know what the word love means, and therefore he does not know what it means to defend, protect, or or even cherish, and oh, these are some of the qualities that he agreed to, or when he took her on as his wife, to love her, to respect her, to defend her, forsaking all others. You know, my question is, um what is his understanding of love? And everybody, when we're looking at Melanie, yes, I understand that she's taking him back. The hard loves with the hard loves. Love covers a multitude of sin, and when you truly love somebody, it is hard to just turn it off. It is not a microwavable thing that you could turn on and turn off. You know, that's years they took to love one another. And
Mhm.
she went in with a whole heart. So going in with your whole heart, um, she also said that for better, for worse, you know.
Mhm.
So, these are vows that we actually say when we go up to the altars. We have to really understand what do they mean. And unfortunately, with their relationship being placed so publicly, every move they make is under a microscope. Why? Because they are on camera.
Mhm.
Now, had this been private, they probably would have moved on long time, either gotten a divorce and separated. He went his way, she went her way, and we probably would have never heard anything. They probably would have had a good friendship. But the issue and the problem is because they are being filmed and he talking too much. The court documents might say, you can't say this, you can't say that, but being under a microscope and everybody has something to say, and after every 5 minutes, this one on YouTube or live FaceTiming saying this and saying that. It's like, how in the world could you take those things back? You can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's documented for life. And at the end of the day, I could care less about them. I really don't too much care about them. My issue is with the kids. Whether or
Yeah.
not, they ever get back together, these kids are scarred. They are
Yeah.
scarred. The courts could try to say to keep the information away from them, but living in a age of technology, they are going to see this. They are going to hear it because it is on every
Yeah.
blog. Every blog is talking about it. I mean, they call it Melanie this crazy. They call it hyper crazy, and they have to, their kids at school is hearing this. Their parents are discussing it when they go out to school. They're hearing this. So how can you actually protect these kids from not being affected by your mess?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I could care less about who Martell slept with and how many women he dealt with. At the end of the day, what about the kids? At the end of the day, these kids, they need more than just a family therapy. These kids are going to need therapy constantly because at the end of the day, they are scarred. Who
Yeah.
are they to trust? They can't trust mommy to love them because mommy's still talking about daddy bad. Can't trust daddy to love them because daddy's still running mommy down in the streets. Come on.
All right, I got to
But
cut
then,
you off. Thank you, Angel Eyes. I'm specifically trying to get people in, and I cannot believe the amount of people that want to talk. It's crazy. So, thank you so much for calling.
all right.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Hannah, for calling in. I appreciate the call.
Thank you. Have a great day now.
You. Natty, I love you to death. Thank you so much for calling in. Oh, you're on mute. Okay. Thank you. I need a breather. We are backed up, and I'm still can't get Leah in. All right. Let me take Diva. Did you want to add anything?
No, I think everybody's given great points, and I think that sometimes when you speak a lot, to one side, people think you're disrespecting the other side of the conversation. And I just want to say, you know, as a person, forget about just being a female. I feel for both of them, Melanie and Martell, because they're navigating a real life difficult situation in front of the public, right? They have a marriage that was dissolved. They have children that are involved. And, you know, this has to be navigated in front of the public eye. And it's not easy if you're not in front of the public. So it's darn sure it's not easy to be.
Hold on, Diva. I think this is her.
Oh,
Leah, is this you?
Hey, Sherelle.
Hey, oh my God. You made it. Now, can you sound off really quickly? I really have 5 minutes.
I absolutely can. I just wanted to go on and just make a statement about all the fandom about the millimeters. And I love Mel, but there is a content creator who is on her live right now. And I have to go to the FBI. Speaking of the judges, I won't say her name.
No names. Yeah, no names.
No, definitely not. But just going to show the fandom, I had to go to the FBI and get people registered in the National Crime Database, information database and all that, because they are threatening my life. They are doxing me. They are finding out where my nieces are going. And it has gotten to where I've had to get warrants and get lawyers. But when I tell you, I am not joking, and they think I'm playing, but I am not. I'm a private investigator. They're doing all this research to search me in the bar. I mean, I am not a practicing lawyer. You're not going to find me in our database, but where you will find yourself is in the FBI database. And I put that on my mother's grave. I'm not playing with you people. Okay.
All right. Let me clarify for the chat. You're saying that people, the melanators, are upset with you because you favor Martell, or they didn't like something you said, and now you've been doxxed and people are coming after you, and you went to the FBI for what?
Well, it's not even, I'm not siding with Martell. Please don't put that out there about me.
Okay.
No, not that at all. But no, all I did was, in my professional capacity, I went on another content provider's or content creator show and just spoke as a private investigator and someone who does have a law degree. I am not a practicing attorney. I am a private investigator, and I watched the show, and I love Mel. So give me, I love Mel, and it is sad on all sides. But all I did was, it wasn't even my opinion; it was the opinion of the court. However, now there's a content creator that's been on for 3 to 4 days now, constantly talking about me, my education, finding out where I live, saying they have people in the state of Alabama who are coming to get me, and making very credible threats that when I say I went to the FBI, I went to the FBI building. I spoke with a field agent. I gave names. And so now the name Love and Marriage Huntsville, because of these content creators about Melanie, who we all love, but their mental state has gotten them so where it's dangerous now. And I'm not going to put up with it. And so therefore, yes, I'm telling you now, I'm not joking. I'm saying on Sherelle's show, you are in the FBI NCIC database. You're messing with judges. You're messing with lives. And you're going to go to jail and you're going to get sued. I guarantee it. Thank you.
Opinion really quickly. Why do you think people getting so involved in doxing people and this is going crazy? Well, and cussing you out if you don't say, what do you think going on? Opinion?
I think people, this is the thing, okay? I think everybody, as a woman, we've all been hurt before. We've all had this type of man in our life. And we see this woman being hurt, and then we projecting, okay? And we don't know all the whole situation. And honestly, whenever we get up on these up on platforms and stuff, we're only giving our opinion. You can agree to disagree. We can all be grown folks. We can all say our opinions, and you can respectfully disagree with mine. That's fine. But to the point where we are doing federal crimes, like that's a crime. So if you want to do the crime, you do the time.
Oh yeah. Well,
If you want to catch this heat, I got it under the seat.
Well, I'm glad you finally made it up, opinion. I'm going to have to end this here because I do have other obligations. People are passionate about this.
And especially the mellometers. The mellometers, they go hard for melody.
I don't think I've seen anything like it.
Like, no, we have the barbs.
Oh yeah, the barbs. Y'all getting crazy like the barbs. But I let as many people speak as I could. But you guys know I do another show after this, so we'll be back. You guys, we got to come back and talk
about. It's a hot mess.
Some more. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess, and
We can clean it up though. It's gonna be cleaned up. I got it.
Last words, opinion, really quick. Oh, you said so. Diva, last words, and then I gotta go because I got another show.
Great conversation.
Intense.
It was.
Very,
It was.
very
It
intense.
was.
You guys, if I didn't get to your call backstage, I do apologize. I have another show right after this.
Hey, hey, Shara, I didn't speak, but that's okay. I know you got to go.
I'm so sorry. I hate
No,
to
no,
cut
no,
it
no, no.
off.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a great. Y'all
But
did
we'll
great
be
though.
back. We gonna have grown woman talk. That's what I'm gonna name it. Grown woman talk again. And everybody in the chat, please don't forget to click your like button on the way out. And you speak your mind in the chat. I'm erasing no comments. And just like I didn't erase any in the chat, everybody's allowed to feel how they feel over here. And we have grown women conversations. Unfortunately, I gotta go. So on 3, guys,
Okay.
let's say bye. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.